A very impressive storm, a Category 5 storm, wind sustained at 167 miles per hour.
Continue to make your preparations for what could be a Category 4 storm.
More than you wanted to see, but I think it paints a fairly accurate picture, and it's not a very pretty picture, but that's what we've got.
Again, we just want to be aggressive, but at the same time, we want to be very careful.
The eye wall of the storm is going to pass over the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
The devastation was amazing, just amazing. House is totally gone. Just some stairs left there, and someone had put up an American flag showing they still had spirit.
It was just utter destruction. There wouldn't be a house on a slab.
You're talking about thousands and thousands of people that have probably lost their homes.
You can see roofs, but no floors. Just trash scattered everywhere. It just looked like someone dropped a bomb on the place.
The home's gone, trees gone, poles snapped like twigs, tractor trailers bent up like pretzels.
There's no way to prepare yourself for that. It was just shocking.
All the houses and the debris all over the place. Roads blocked, power lines down. It was just awesome.
Boats pushed up against bridges on land, cars flipped over, just everything's a mess.
People watch it on CNN and stuff like that. It don't do it justice. It don't do it justice until you get out here and look and see what Mother Nature can do.
When you actually get here and you can smell the stench and see the destruction for yourself, it's indescribable.
Absolutely devastating. I ain't never seen anything like this before in my life, and I hope and pray to God I never see anything like it again.
think that the scope of the damage and the severity of the damage was far beyond anything we had ever imagined. We had always anticipated that about 5,000 outside personnel was really the maximum we would need for a worst case storm. And as you know, we peaked out at around 11,000 outside personnel.
We needed the labor in order to get the lights back on. We procured resources from 23 different states and Canada. We had them rolling in from Michigan, Minnesota, Wyoming, Ohio, from every state that you could possibly think of, in addition to our own folks here at Mississippi and to our own folks at Alabama Power, Georgia Power, Gulf Power, and Savannah.
When your neighbor's down, you give them a hand, and they need all the help they can get right now.
This pole was broke here behind us by the storm. We've got it replaced. We've got the conductors almost transferred to it. We're trying to get it back on. It serves, I think, one of their public works lift stations here, and we're trying to get this line back on for them.
We're cutting up these 230 towers that have blown down and setting new H-frames back in place of them.
Well, today we're working on the taps coming off the mainline feeders here in Ocean Springs, trying to turn the lights back on for y'all.
Right now what we're doing is coming in and installing surfaces to the houses where the stacks have been ripped off.
Oh, we're making progress every time we stop. Every time we stop, we've got a smile coming out the house.
We had people traveling on the road coming to us from all different routes, and they had one number to call, and that number obviously didn't work. Basically, we were so worried about communications, we told them just to come towards the Gulf Coast, we'll flag you down.
Without communication, they couldn't communicate with their headquarters to get directions, and certainly couldn't communicate with us to get directions. So we had a tough time the first few days, just making sure we got people to the right place.
Phone lines were down, the cellular service was down. The one thing that never went down was Southern Link. There was damage, we had some sites down, we had some capacity issues, but it worked even immediately following the storm. And the response of the Southern Link folks and the IT folks and Mississippi Power folks in restoring those sites where there were problems at our general office, at Plant Watson, getting them back online, that was very critical to our success. They not only got the system back in service at its normal capacity, but well beyond that, which we had to have if we were going to be able to communicate with the numbers of people we had on the property.
We were fortunate enough to get through to our sister companies, Gulf Power, Alabama Power, and Georgia Power. And they helped us because they had landlines, and they could get out on those landlines and talk to vendors at their headquarters and help us direct the trucks into the area.
Fortunately, one of our fuel suppliers, we had issued them link radios prior to the storm, so we were able to communicate with that one.
It was helpful to us to supply Coca-Cola with a Southern Link radio in order for us to communicate our drink needs, water needs on a daily basis.
By Tuesday afternoon, I had additional people buyers in that were working with us from the Southern Company. Orders were being placed way above what we had normally prepared for in our storm planning. Initially, we planned for 10 major staging sites, which was for material, fuel, and those kind of things. And that expanded to over 30 sites at the height of the storm. In a 24-hour time frame, we received 60 tractor-trailer loads of material at Mississippi's Material Distribution Center, which is really only geared for a fraction of that type of activity. Also that day, we shipped 77 loads of material across the service area to these 30 sites. A lot of stuff went around the clock, 24 hours a day. Most of our stores folks came in, they come in before the crews arrive, and they stay after the crews leave and trying to get ready for the next day. Fuel became a critical issue after several days because of major outages within our service area and outside our service area. We were being told that if it was not for hospitals or schools or evacuation centers that it would be diverted, and we said, well, for us to have hospitals working properly, we have to restore them, and the fuel is ours. we were probably fueling over 5,000 vehicles throughout the company, including all support equipment, generators, specialty equipment, and I think at the peak we used in one day about 140,000 gallons of mixed fuel, diesel and gasoline.
We've never had a situation where we had no hotel rooms on the coast to work with. We had to use tents and sleeper trailers for the first time in our history. We've never had a situation where we had more than 4,000 people, and we more than doubled that with this storm. So there were a lot of firsts for logistics in this effort. If you can imagine 1,000 people, just 1,000 people in one spot that you've got to feed, shower, have linens ready each day, and do laundry for those people, and then multiply that by 10, that's what we were dealing with.
What really was beneficial to us was having the support of our system companies involved in the implementation of tent cities at these various staging sites to ensure that they had generators on site to support these tents.
We sleep in air-conditioned tents and we eat very well. We have showers. We have so much better things, and the folks that we're going to go help, that we feel very fortunate and we feel very well taken care of.
Great meals, they're warm, they're hot, and they're very, very well thought out, you know, balanced meals.
We were facing mid-90-degree temperatures during the day, and it is important for field personnel to have ice, drinks readily available. And we were able to make this happen at the various locations, sometimes 3 and 4 18-foot trailers coming in to ensure that these were readily available at the various sites.
Our family services group is basically a gathering of employees helping employees. We've put people who have had real tragic events, have had their houses washed away, have had their cars washed away, have lost loved ones. We try to help them put their lives back together. We've been there to help salvage their house, pack boxes, clean out refrigerators, tarp roofs, delivered cars, delivered meals, giving them ice, giving them a pat on the back, and just a friendly face at times, just to let them know that people care and we're here for them.
We've had a couple where the house is just still full and they were just sort of still shell-shocked and not sure what to do with it all. And so when we come in and we drag out the big things, we get them to the road and rip up the carpet. When we get that out and they look at it and they feel like, all right, we've got to start here. I can handle this now.
This is a challenging time for a number of people. And if I could help them in the slightest way by cleaning up trash or assisting with the roofing of a damaged roof, I felt as if though I could immediately give back and help people overcome the tragedy of Hurricane Katrina.
Oh man, they're great. They really are. They come in here and they helped us get everything, all our wet stuff out. They're going to help us store things and clean our clothes. So they've been a tremendous help.
We talk a lot about Southern style, and what I saw during the restoration was Southern style by our people who took on leadership roles, whether or not they were in leadership positions. People who went out and did what needed to be done, who went above and beyond their normal duties just to make sure everything was done, to make sure the guys got fed, had a place to sleep, and the leadership was just outstanding all through the company.
A major factor in our success was the teamwork that was demonstrated not only within Mississippi Power but across the Southern Company. And I think the culture was a major key to that. Our PCL culture and our commitment to Southern style was important in the way that our people worked together and pulled together, and departmental lines or concerns just didn't exist. It was whatever needs to be done was done.
Employees that had damage, personal losses, showed up for work and worked around the clock. And in my own section, I had a number of employees that had significant damage or total losses. And that spirit cannot be described in words.
That's total commitment when everybody who, even though you have stuff going on in your life personally, you show up, you come to work, you pull your pants up, you tighten your belt, you know you've got to get a job done and you do it. You put your life on hold.
As of 6 o'clock tonight, we have 168,777 people that can take service, and 168,777 have service.
You really wrote the history books in the last 12 days, so you really are heroes. And if you achieved the impossible, then that team is the team you want to go to war with, and this is the team I want to go to war with. Every single one, you did an outstanding job. Congratulations.
We held the hope of the people of Mississippi in our hands. And when you start getting lights back on, that brings hope. When people see a street light, no matter if it's 1 out of 1,000 that we're on, they see that and they think everything's going to be okay.
When you throw the switch and you turn on a big street of houses, everybody's coming out clapping, applauding, thanking you and all that, and it just makes you feel good and warm inside, like you're helping somebody.
I think this is the greatest demonstration I have ever seen of the power of the Southern Company and what it can bring to bear when it is focused on a particular problem with all of our people pulling together. And I think when we were faced with the greatest challenge Mississippi Power has ever seen, and I think maybe any utility has ever seen, I think it turned out to be our finest hour.